This summer, I had the opportunity to work with Born Global, a foundation that connects young people like me to global challenges through real research and hands on learning. My journey began with two remarkable trees, the frankincense tree and the myrrh tree, plants that survive in the dry, rugged landscapes of East Africa. At Born Global, we use a research process called the Book of Life, where nature becomes your co-worker. It's a biomimicry approach that doesn't just ask what can we take from nature, but what can we learn from it. As I studied these trees, I realized they had something powerful to teach about survival, restraint, and regeneration. Frankincense and myrrh trees grow in arid soils with almost no water. When they're wounded, they release a healing resin that's fragrant, sacred, and economically valuable. But what struck me wasn't just what they produce, it was how they survive. They space their wounds, they rest between harvests, they don't overextend, they adapt to what their environment can give, and no more. And I began to ask, do we treat the people who care for these trees with the same respect that the trees teach us to offer ourselves? At Born Global, I also learned about the circular economy, a framework that designs systems to be regenerative and fair. When I applied that lens to the frankincense and myrrh supply chains, I began to see the hidden imbalance. In parts of Ethiopia, a household harvesting resin may earn just $200 to $300 per year. That same resin might sell for $1.3 per kilo locally, but further down the chain, in export markets, it can sell for 3 to 5 times more. This is a story of value leakage, of how those who do the hardest work often see the least return. So yes, this is a supply chain issue, but it's also a visibility issue. Who gets paid? Who gets seen? Many of the people harvesting those resins are women, living in areas impacted by drought, displacement, or conflict. Some work alone, others are in cooperatives, but still face limited access to training, tools, and markets. Their labor is essential, their choices are few. Because options are so limited, many women choose to migrate abroad to support their families. Today, over 1.2 million Ethiopians live outside the country, and women make up nearly half of all migrants from the region. Migration routes stretch across the Middle East, Europe, and beyond, not always by choice, but often by necessity. The pressure to migrate is often a result of fragile systems that do not provide stability, safety, or dignity at home. Meanwhile, the products that depend on these women, who are oil, fragrances, rituals, wellness, continue to move across the world. We trace the scent, but rarely the story. That's why this expedition matters. The Myrrh Ethiopia expedition is not just about researching resin. It's about reimagining what this entire system could be. It's about listening to trees, to women, to the landscape they care for. We're working to help create sanctuaries, spaces where women can feel safe, supported, and able to rest. And we're pairing those sanctuaries with regenerative value chains, ones that prioritize training, fair compensation, and long-term healing for both land and people. This is how we move from extraction to regeneration. The trees taught me that resilience requires rhythm, that healing takes time, that value isn't just a number, it's a relationship. They don't maximize, they mature. So, I want to leave you with a few questions. What would it mean to build an economy that listens to trees, to women, to ecosystems? How do we design systems that nourish instead of exploit? What part can each of us play in transforming ancient practices into modern solutions? Because sometimes the biggest changes begin with listening.